All right, we have another trade here between the Edmonton Oilers and the Carolina Hurricanes, and it involves a guy who has struggled quite a lot with the Oilers. Let's talk about the trade sending Jesse Puljujarvi over to Carolina. The Hurricanes are giving Edmonton prospect Patrick Puistola, who was drafted 73rd overall in the 2019 NHL entry draft, as the return, so he's essentially just a third-round pick. He's played his entire career in Finland so far, so we are yet to see any NHL action from him. But in the Liga, which is the Finnish version of the NHL, he's actually put up some decent numbers, making him a solid prospect. Puljujarvi is on a $3 million contract ending this summer, so there's no salary being retained here. He will become a restricted free agent at the end of this season. Now, I'm not going to lie here, I honestly like this move a lot, and there's a few perspectives you have to kind of look at this through. First is a Jesse Puljujarvi perspective. I mean, this is a guy who has struggled heavily in terms of living up to the expectations of being a top 5 draft pick as he was back in 2016. He had all the weapons that he could have used to maybe improve his game in McDavid and Draisaitl, but it just unfortunately did not work out for him whatsoever. He continued to struggle while others in his draft class just thrived. I mean, we talk about Matthews, DeBrincat, Laine, Keller, Dubois, Tkachuk. All those guys just seem to thrive, but unfortunately not Puljujarvi. So that is the main reason why the Oilers decided to trade him away and allow him to get a fresh start somewhere else, as he's going to be in a really different side of the NHL. I mean, he's on a new team, in a new country, in a new conference, in a new division, so everything should be reset to scratch for him. But despite his struggles, I think there's no doubt that everyone can see Puljujarvi's offensive game that he's been able to display through his 6 seasons in Edmonton. In 317 career games, he's managed to notch 112 points, where he's gotten 51 goals and 61 assists. 5 of those goals and 9 of those assists have come from this year as a bottom 6 player. I think a lot of people could have seen a trade coming with the Erik Karlsson rumors and whatnot, but the real indication that his days in Edmonton were numbered was his time on the ice. I mean, it consistently decreased. His last game as an Oiler, which was yesterday against Boston, had him play 11 shifts for just 6 minutes and 8 seconds. But despite his really rough start to the NHL for those 6 years, Puljujarvi is a difference maker for sure. He obviously wasn't able to show that style of play since he wasn't, the main character in Edmonton, meaning that he didn't really get that sort of attention from the fans or the media as someone who can create the turning point in a hockey game. It was kind of mostly revolving around Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, but for good reason. I mean, both of them are top 10 in the league for the best players, right? But Puljujarvi could actually become a beneficial surprise for the Hurricanes. I mean, he has great size, which allows him to play well in all 3 zones. He also has great net front presence, which he has done in the past when he's on a roll. He has 88 shots on goal this season, and despite only 5 of them landing behind the net, it's not really fair to blame him for lacking effort and interest, as he is certainly trying. I mean, he had 14 goals last year in 65 games, so he definitely has somewhat of a knack for scoring. It's just if he can improve his game in a new setting. However, there is a problem. Let's be real, like the Oilers, the Hurricanes are cup contenders, all right? They have a very strong top 6 led by Sebastian Aho and Andrei Svechnikov, Seth Jarvis, and Toivo Teravainen, while also having a strong bottom 6 with solid depth pieces like Eric Stahl and Jesper Foss, as well as Paul Stastny. If Puljujarvi ever wants to find his old game again, or at best improve it, it has to be consistent. He's already very capable of being a good top 9 forward, but if he ever wants to be a top 6 player, he needs to develop confidence immediately. We go back to my Erik Karlsson for Jesse Puljujarvi video, where we heard in December that Puljujarvi was saying that he's lost confidence in his game and he doesn't think that he can reach his goal of being a good player again. And it was just really sad to hear that, because I mean, he's such a likable guy and he's got such an amazing personality. So I just really hope he can find his new game somehow in Carolina, but that can only start with his confidence. Coming back to the idea of a turning point, the Hurricanes aren't locked in to win the Metropolitan Division. I mean, this division is getting pretty competitive, with the Devils just trailing by a few points with their addition of Timo Meier. You have the Rangers with 2 huge additions in Patrick Kane and Vladimir Tarasenko. You have the up-and-coming Islanders with Bo Horvat, and then in the playoffs, they could play the Penguins or Capitals if both make them, and knowing how experienced both those squads are, we could see upsets happening. So I mean, seriously, things are going to change in this division for sure. So not only does Don Waddle need to get the right pieces, but he needs to make sure that he's taking a calculated risk like this one right here with Puljujarvi, and as of what I see right now, I think he's done the right thing. He's giving up a guy who could potentially bounce back from a fresh start, and he's only giving up a prospect for that. Puljujarvi has been part of several Oilers playoffs runs in the past, having made the Western Conference Finals last year, so he knows what he's up against. I'm pretty sure Ken Holland could tell that the Oilers would not get as much in return for Puljujarvi, but they're going to kindly give him a new home to thrive in, which I honestly feel is the right idea. Why not pick up a prospect instead of letting him walk for nothing? Now Edmonton makes their farm system much stronger, while Puljujarvi makes the Canes' bottom 6 much stronger. It's a good trade from both sides here, as with a lot of these moves, so hopefully we see Puistola in the NHL at some point, and maybe we see Puljujarvi score some goals in Raleigh, hopefully in the playoffs too. So comment down below your thoughts on this trade. Who do you guys think won it? Was it Edmonton? Was it Carolina? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, thank you guys for tuning in and have a wonderful day.